humidity sucks. That being said, now I've started the season previews, but for people who like depth charts, the how good is it, how bad is it series is for you. And good news. I'm going to just keep doing how good, how bad is it, because it bothers me that I didn't do every team. It does. And I understand that it may sort of feel like, oh, well, that's kind of the same thing. Not really. How good is it? How bad is it? Quick go over. The season previews will be more in depth and looking over everything. This is more of just a snapshot, which I've explained before, and we'll go with that. The Pittsburgh Penguins are interesting. They won 2 straight Stanley Cups. They lost this year in the second round. Could they win 3 out of 4 and become an actual dynasty? Yes. Will people argue they're already a dynasty based on those back-to-back cups? Yes. Brian Burke, if you're watching, you're one of those people. Don't hurt me. He's a big Irishman, and you don't want to make him angry. Down the left side, you got Hagelin behind Gensel, Simone, Aston Reese, and Grant. Which Jake Gensel shows up? The one from the playoffs or the one from the regular season? Odds are it's probably a little bit in between. I don't think he'll score at that pace in the regular season, but I also don't think he'll struggle as much as he did this past regular season. So look right about in the middle. Simone's an interesting guy because he did show at points during this past season that he could play top line minutes. So while we look at Pittsburgh and we say, well, they don't have a whole lot of those big stars on their way up, they don't really need to because they got 2 huge stars down the middle. That's right. Crosby, Malkin, Brassard, Sheehan, and they signed Cullen. We don't even need. They can put him on the wing. If Aston Reese is borderline, you can put Aston Reese in the American League and stick Cullen on the 4th line. Unless Aston Reese has to clear waivers this year, I don't think he does. Cullen's a smart signing, even if he only plays a handful of games, just because he was with this team when they won before. They know him. He knows them. It's a good move. On the right side, you got Rust, Hornqvist, Kessel, Sprong, and Jimmy Hayes. That's right. Kessel's still here. All those rumors early in the summer about Kessel being traded, I didn't do a video on it. I didn't talk about it. I only mentioned it in passing as one of these crazy rumor ideas. And I did that quick Kessel video where I didn't say he was going to get traded. I didn't see the point. I didn't think it made any sense. And I think if he was going to get traded, I think it would have happened by now. I do. I really don't see, so I wasn't going to go, oh, he could fit into Arizona, he could fit into Florida, he could go to, because that's just silliness. This might be the best forward group in the league. It's up there. There are holes in it, unless you take into account that they have such a strong presence down the middle. Brassard should be better for them playing a full season as a Penguin than he was down the stretch and in the playoffs. I'd expect a bit of a bounce back from him. And one of these centers, as I said, could move to the wing and build that up. On the blue line, Dumoulin, Letang, Mata, Schultz. Fantastic top 4. Jack Johnson comes in to pair with Alexiak. That's a pretty big presence on that blue line in your 5-6 spot. Ruedel now drops down to number 7. Trotman is still like a depth guy who's there. Juuso Riikola signed in the offseason. I swear, if just once I can yell Riikola like the old commercials. You guys remember the old commercials? You're old enough to remember the old Riikola commercials, right? Anyways, if I can yell that like I'm yodeling once a game, I'll be happy. I may not like Pittsburgh, but if I can yodel once in a while, I might be happy watching them. In net, you got Murray, Jarry, and DeSmith. It's a very young trio. But they proved in this past season that the talent is there. If Murray can stay healthy all year, if Murray plays 55, 60 games, and Jarry is capable of being that backup, Pittsburgh's goaltending's in pretty sound shape. And this blue line, honestly, it's intimidating. If all these guys play as well together as they should be able to, if Justin Schultz can bounce back from this admittedly poor season he had last year as opposed to the year he had before. Remember when that crazy hockey guy said he's one of the top 10 defensemen in the league? Anyways, if Schultz can bounce back and if Johnson can prove John Tortorella wrong, Pittsburgh absolutely can be not only a contender, this is a team that can win a President's Trophy. Because when Crosby and Malkin are on, and if Matt Murray is on one of his hot streaks, and he's a streaky goaltender, Pittsburgh, they're at least a playoff team. Are they a Stanley Cup champion? I don't want to bet against it because I get very disappointed when my bets don't work out. And let me know your thoughts. How good is it for the Pittsburgh Penguins right now? And which spot do you think somebody else could step in? Like, they signed Grant out of Anaheim. Does Grant make the team? Does Jimmy Hayes make the team, or is he going to the American League? Because there's sort of been this history in Pittsburgh of taking wingers and reforming them and making them better, or finding the right role for them. And Jimmy Hayes is a guy who's been with Boston and then New Jersey, and now he's in Pittsburgh. Is he going to find that role in Pittsburgh? Let me know your thoughts. I'd be interested to know what you think. And there you go. How good is it, Pittsburgh? Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through just happened upon this video. I'll talk to you again soon.